On October 8, 2025, deputies responded to a McDonald's after reports of an intoxicated man causing a disturbance and becoming aggressive with employees over a complaint about his burger. This case illustrates critical legal principles regarding stop and identify statutes, arrest authority, and the proper use of force during resistance.
How long, Tim?
Basically what the other man just told me. He came to the drive-thru. From what I could tell when he was at the drive-thru. Yeah. So what I could tell from when he got here, he seemed a bit intoxicated because he was confused. And then my crew member told me he backed up and asked for excuse.
So what?
Go home. No. Once that happened, you driving?
No, sir. I'm walking.
He was in the car with me. So I don't know.
But it's not that I pulled up to my phone. I was here to come from the phone. I ain't did nothing.
Where's your ID at, man?
And I refuse.
You can look.
You can't refuse.
Now you finna cause the issue for real.
Because I haven't done nothing.
Where's your ID at?
The deputy is conducting what's known as a Terry stop, named after Terry versus Ohio from 1968, which allows officers to briefly detain individuals when they have reasonable suspicion. The disturbance call and witness reports provided reasonable suspicion to investigate. This is a lower standard than probable cause, but requires specific articulable facts. The deputy is establishing the factual basis before making direct contact. This is proper investigative procedure and demonstrates appropriate de-escalation technique. Notice the deputy's approach is calm and conversational. Modern law enforcement training emphasizes verbal de-escalation as the first step in the use of force continuum. The deputy asks for identification. This is a lawful request during a Terry stop when investigating a reported crime in states with stop and identify statutes. In the Hiibel versus 6th Judicial District Court of Nevada from 2004, the Supreme Court held that requiring a suspect to disclose their name during a valid Terry stop does not violate the 4th or 5th Amendments. Approximately 24 states have stop and identify statutes. The core principle remains, during a lawful investigatory detention, individuals must identify themselves when asked.
My phone? Okay, look, you could get my money back.
Where's your ID at? We're past that.
I ain't got no ID, sir.
You got a name and date of birth?
No, sir. Because I haven't committed no crime, sir.
So, hey, we were called out here for a disturbance. So you have to identify yourself. It's an investigation going on. So if you refuse to identify yourself, you're just going to get charged for failure to identify.
But I haven't done that to him.
Hey, go ahead and turn around.
Are you listening to me?
Go ahead and turn around.
Go ahead and turn around.
Turn around, dude.
So I'm getting...
Go ahead and turn around, man. We're past that.
I mean, you could just...
Well, I need a sarge. I need a sarge now. I need a sarge.
No, you don't.
I'm calling I will press sarge out here. I will press sarge.
Turn around, man. Turn your ass around. I ain't got time for your shit. Turn around.
I ain't turning around. I'll press the sarge.
Turn around.
I will press my sarge. My hands...
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back, man. Turn around, dude. Turn around. Turn around, man.
I'll be a sword. I need a sword.
Nope. You don't have to fucking listen. I ain't playing your dog.
All right. I give up.
Stop resisting, man.
I give up.
Give me your fucking hand, man. Give me the hand.
I give up.
I'm gonna need stop fucking tensing up, man.
I'm gonna call my daddy.
I don't give a stop tensing up. You're not a
I give up. I said I give up.
Sending body worn down in 15 seconds. Sending body worn down in 10 seconds.
I said I give up.
fucking listen the first time, man.
Sending body worn down in 5 seconds.
Body
worn down canceled.
You're going to jail, bro.
The deputy now uses physical force to effect the arrest. Under Graham versus Connor, the reasonableness of force must be judged from the perspective of a reasonable officer on the scene. The factors include the severity of the crime, whether the suspect poses an immediate threat, and whether the suspect is actively resisting arrest or attempting to evade. Here, the subject is actively resisting by refusing commands and tensing his body to prevent handcuffing. The subject verbally states he gives up, but his physical actions don't match. This disconnect between verbal surrender and physical resistance is common and complicates the officer's ability to safely complete the arrest. The deputy is using soft hand and hard hand control techniques to overcome resistance. He is not striking the subject using impact weapons or applying higher levels of force. This represents the minimum force necessary to overcome resistance and complete the lawful arrest, which is the standard required under Graham versus Connor. The arrest is now complete. However, the deputy's use of profanity during the encounter represents a departure from professional communication standards. Evaluating the deputy's performance, we assign a grade of B. The deputy demonstrated strong legal knowledge by correctly applying Terry, stop authority, and stop and identify law. He provided multiple clear warnings before using force. His use of force was appropriate and proportional to the level of resistance encountered. However, the deputy used profanity multiple times, including "I ain't got time for your shit" and "fucking listen" the first time. While understandable, given the frustrating circumstances, this language can escalate situations and reflects poorly on professionalism. Overall, the arrest was legally sound and tactically appropriate, with room for improvement in verbal professionalism. Evaluating the subject's performance, we assign a grade of D-. The subject made virtually every wrong decision possible during this encounter. His aggressive behavior at McDonald's led to law enforcement being called. He then refused to provide identification despite clear explanations that it was legally required. He persisted in this refusal even after being explicitly warned that failure to identify is a criminal offense, demonstrating fundamental misunderstanding of legal obligations.
For what?
You're not a
For what? I'll tell you for.
I told you to turn
Are
around.
you going to do me like that?
Yeah.
I want to play sergeant.
You ain't doing
Sergeant. Can I please request my sergeant? I request sergeant.
learn to listen.
I was tired.
Oh,
Please.
no, you
Please, are you going to walk away?
She tried to explain to you you don't want to listen. You get multiple opportunities.
I request a sergeant. No. I need a sergeant.
One's going to come. He's going to tell you the same dog.
I need a sergeant.
Well,
And my dad precinct 4. My mom is
sit up, man.
Vietnamese.
Sit up.
My mom is Vietnamese.
I don't care, man.
I request a sergeant. I didn't do nothing to nobody.
You don't know how to listen. Angel, Daddy,
I
learn to
will
listen.
please.
Get up.
I request a sergeant. I need EMA.
Get up.
I need medical.
Yeah, you get medical. Stand up, man. Stand up. Come on. Stand up, dog.
I need medical. What's the law I didn't obey? Because I ain't listen.
You refuse to ID yourself. That's a crime.
I'm a free. That's not a crime.
I told you to turn around. You didn't listen, so.
Man, it's not a crime, though. Come on,
sounds like
man.
you
Take
found
me.
out.
All right, buddy, stand up, man.
My chest. Hold on. My chest hurts.
One way or another. It's not your road. This is my road. We're gonna do it. Stop, bro.
Right here.
I said I need my money,
You ain't getting.
and I need everything. I need a sword.
The only thing you're getting tonight is right to jail.
For what? What's my charge?
Your ass don't know how to listen.
You can do these in public service.
How interfering with a court doing other service when I ain't got the right to do nothing? I haven't did nothing. Where's my right?
Pat him down, dude. Pat up between his balls, too.
I don't have no dope. I haven't done that. For being black.
Ain't got nothing to do with that, man.
I ain't got nothing to do with nothing. So your charge, I'll be out in the morning. There, I'm taking charges. Hey, can I get all y'all badge numbers and names? I want your badge numbers and names.
Check his waistband.
Because I want to be right when I was paid for.
Turn, man.
Man, I haven't done nothing.
Stop your resisting. Your
I haven't resisted.
Car, man.
Sarge.
Oh, look.
What? There ain't nothing. Sarge.
Ain't
Can
no
I
Sarge.
request a Sarge?
Nope.
I'm the supervisor right here. You're talking to me.
Man. All right, put me in the car, G.
What we doing?
Put me in the car.
No.
See, you ain't got no charge against me. I ain't
Yeah, I
do
do.
shit.
I got several charges against you.
I ain't getting nothing to nobody.
Hey, smile over here, man.
What I did, And then I want to put on my arrest. I got tape. I haven't did nothing.
He's not going to sit there and tell me no and act a fool and get what he wants.
Right.
I don't play that shit.
I think that's the part.
Yeah, it's getting towed. Is there somebody else with him?
No, I don't think so. Hey, did he come by himself, or you just left the car on? No, this is his car. Or the one over there.
No, the one over there.
The white one?
Is there a female with him?
No, he was by his. I don't think it was nobody with him. He was in the car by himself.
That female that was in here, all of them just coming here.
Yeah, they homeless.
I ain't tripping on them then. So when he came in here, what was he saying to y'all through the drive-thru? You know, just what was he mad about to begin with?
When he first came to the drive-thru, because I didn't charge him or anything, I just paused up the food. From what I could tell, the way he was talking, it seemed like he was a bit intoxicated, which is pretty normal sometimes during overnight. You get those people, but normally they just grab
Get to the point, Jeremy.
No, he's good. He's all right. I ain't
Either
tripping.
way, and then I gave him his food, and he came back and told my other team member over here that there wasn't enough pickles, so he wanted fresh. So he told him to park at the window, and then me and her team stopped to come get the money, and he just starts coming in here and just hollering.
What was he hollering?
When he came in, I was here, he was here, and when he walked in, he was like, "Hey, bro." We was leaning over the counter. He's like, "Hey, bro, I want my food fresh. Can I get my food fresh?" And we're looking at each other like, did he not see us to tell us anything? He literally went right past us and went to the counter. And so I came back up because I finished doing what I needed to do. I came back around so I can get ready to get him to pull the money. And he leans over the counter. And I'm looking, and he's like, "Don't look at me like that, big head self." And I'm looking, I ain't say nothing because I'm like, okay, I can tell he drunk, but he gonna take it there.
Yeah.
So then when I got further over here, he leans over the counter, and I'm like, "Hey, bro, back up. You don't got to be all in my space. Back up." And he was like, "I can be where I want to be." And I'm like, "Back up, man. You don't have to do all that." So then my husband walks in.
You're good.
He walks in, and he brings me my glasses. So as he's handing me my glasses like this, I'm like, "Man, back up. You literally leaning over the counter." So he's like, "Man, I'm not trying to hear all that." And so then he's like, "Hey, man, back up. She's telling you to back up, back up." And from there, he literally just got ready to act like he was supposed to fight him. And I'm from Garden City. I'm not trying to hear none of that. I'm from Acres Home. And he was like, "Just come outside, man. Just come outside," to get him from in the store doing the most. So he get him out the door. So when he gets him out the door, he still keeps going further back to keep getting them further away. The homeless guy with the dreads came, and he comes to the door. He gets him to come back inside, but he goes outside and he tries to come back out the door, but he's hold the door so he can't come back out. So I'm like, why would you bring him back in and we're trying to get him out?
So he's trying to make a disturbance too.
Right, you're causing the disturbance even more, and we're trying to get him out of here. We understand he's waiting for his food. But I told him when he came back, he's like, "I'm just trying to get." I said, "Sir, you asked for it fresh. Can you please have a seat? It's cooking." "Man, I'm not trying to hear that. I want my food fresh." What else you want us to do? I'm going to pull it out my ass and give it to you? You said fresh. Like, come on now. I'm giving it to you. You just got to be patient. So then he goes over there and he's still talking crazy because now he done got riled up.
Because all of them in the bag.
Right, because they constantly
they
egging it on.
Up,
So he over there talking noise. He constantly going back and forth. But then once he saw his car left, then he calmed down a little bit. And then when he saw we were serious about getting the police to come, now you quiet. And you don't want to say anything else.
I got you. Do you have your ID on you? You're going to be my... do you feel threatened or anything when he was coming up on you? Do you feel like he was going to put hands on you or anything like that?
No. Yeah, I felt like he was going to hit me, so I was going to have to hit him.
Did he say anything like, "Hey, I'm about to whip your ass"? Or
no.
He just started calling you names and acting a fool?
Yeah.
All right, just hang tight for me. I'll be with you in a minute.
While it doesn't affect the legality of the arrest, many departments have policies discouraging profanity, except in exigent circumstances requiring immediate compliance. With the subject secured, the deputy completes the investigation by interviewing McDonald's employees. This is proper procedure to document the original complaint. The employee testimony will be crucial in supporting the criminal trespass charge and provides important context for why law enforcement was called. The employee states she felt threatened by the subject's behavior. This supports the seriousness of the original complaint and the lawfulness of the law enforcement response. The subject was charged with criminal trespass. Additional charges of failure to identify and resisting arrest would be typical in this type of case. 3 critical lessons emerge from this case. First, know your legal obligations during police encounters. In stop and identify states, you must provide your name during lawful Terry stops. Second, comply with lawful commands even if you disagree. Legal challenges to unlawful stops or arrests should be made in court, not on the street. Third, verbal surrender must match physical compliance. Saying I give up while continuing to resist creates confusion and prolongs the use of force. This case serves as an important reminder that understanding your rights and obligations during police encounters is crucial for ensuring interactions remain safe and minimize legal consequences. Complying with lawful commands, even if you disagree with them, is almost always the best course of action to prevent escalation. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth legal analysis.